It's a trucking, transportation, and lifestyle show like none other.
Man, you call this a life?
Road Gang Radio is back for another half hour of the best transpo show in the known universe.
We come in peace. Well, actually, we're falling to pieces.
Let's see if we can achieve liftoff, Phone Master Dre.
Oh, we can lift off into this nice hour, but not before we can say all the love with the bottom of our heart. Happy birthday, Lindsay Lawler!
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm screaming.
I'm screaming.
Yeah, we dropped the ball. We forgot to do it earlier, so we need to do it now.
We suck. We suck. We're actually going to have a whole half hour about how much we suck just after Dr. Carol is going to be with us, and it's going to be amazing, but we suck. Go ahead, Dre.
But the phone lines will be open in that last half if you want to call and show as much praise as you can to the lovely woman that gives us smiles.
615-292-6366. Lindsay, would you care to do the honors on this next wonderful guest who actually has a place in your heart because of Mimi, and a place in so many of our drivers' hearts because of people like Dexter, or folks like Dexter?
Absolutely, and this is good, well-timed conversation, obviously because of the holidays, but we've had so many callers calling in today about their dogs that are out on the road with them, Dr. Carol, so this will be perfect. Our next guest is someone who our listeners know well. She's appeared on our show multiple times. Honestly, someone that I trust every time we start talking about pets and wellness, especially around the holidays. Dr. Carol Osborne, she's an integrative veterinarian and a nationally recognized leader in functional pet medicine. She's the founder of the Chagrin Falls Veterinary Clinic, an Emmy-nominated TV journalist, and the author of Naturally Healthy Dogs and Naturally Healthy Cats, both international bestsellers. Come on. She also developed the Paws Anti-Aging Wellness System for pets.
Yeah, you do not have an appointment with us. It's probably next story.
Oh.
On air right now.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Dr. Carol. Taking appointments on air. Our point is she never stops working, guys. She is always working. If anyone can make us make sure that our furry family members stay healthy through the season of snacks and decorations and travel and chaos, it's her. So today we're talking holiday pet tips, everything from food to decor to anxiety. Dr. Carol, welcome back to the show. Tell that person to just let you have 1 minute to rest, for the love of God.
There's always a pet in need, especially around the holidays.
That is true, and we understand. Therefore, we even more so are grateful for your time this morning. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I have a strange question to open up because I feel like that, we were talking earlier that a number of my guests before Lindsay joined in, and even the guests that we had, I felt like they became almost like the personifications of when you talk by your phone and then you check your phone and it actually has content directly related to what you said. The opening story this morning that we told on our news break was that the owner of a dog sledding team said all 9 of his canines survived when their trailer overturned on a Minnesota highway, and then one of them ran off. 8 of the dogs stayed inside of the trailer, even though it split in 2, and the 9th, a husky named Hoss, actually had to be chased down in Minnetonka, but they blocked off the interstate to make sure that he was safe and got him back. And one of the questions that came up from a number of our listeners, and Dre and I talked about it as well too, on the outside chance that you are in an accident, whether it's a semi or an SUV or a car, and your animal is in there with them, one of the things the story ended with, Dr. Carol, was they made a big point of saying that they were going to have, even though the dogs were fine, none were injured, they were going to have them under observation for 3 or 4 days to make sure there were no internal injuries. Can you kind of talk about the protocol for what happens if you're in a fender bender or even a worse wreck than that and your dog seems fine after the accident?
That's a great point, and I think that in the majority of cases, nobody knows a dog better than its owner. Certainly keeping a close eye on things for a few days makes a lot of sense. In general, if your dog has a normal appetite, is urinating and defecating and able to move around, normally, no limping, nothing like that, chances are, in most cases, your dog's going to be just fine. On the other hand, if you see or sense something that just isn't quite right, if your pup is not eating, that's a very big sign. If your pet, has lost his or her balance, etc. If you have any question or any doubt in your mind, the best thing to do in all cases is to contact your veterinarian. If that's not possible, stop at an emergency facility and let them just take a good look at your pet, just to make sure everything is okay. If you're able, if you have a little emergency kit handy or a thermometer, you can take your pet's temperature and see that's within a normal range. Generally, in degrees Fahrenheit, anything from 100 to 103 is considered normal. Classic normal is 101.5. But those are just basic things that somebody can look for. And again, as you mentioned, sometimes when things happen, signs are not always visible within the first 24 hours. So just keeping that in mind, maybe for 1 to 3 days, just being very cognizant, of your pet, absolutely is a very smart move.
And Carol, obviously, shifting a little bit to holiday and parties and hosting, as humans, we get overwhelmed with, of course, the holiday energy. But Dr. Carol, I just hosted my daughter's birthday, and so I had 16 young children running around my house for her birthday party, and then I had 25 people that I hosted for Thanksgiving. There was a lot of energy going around my house. But what I noticed this year, very differently than most, Doctor, is that I was way more chill than I'd ever been for whatever reason, whether that was cognizant or not. I was way more chill, which made the whole environment more chill, and definitely my dog. My dog did so great. We rescued her last year, and so this is her second Christmas with us. But first, we got her last year at Christmas, like on Christmas. So this year, she was there for all these parties and all these events, and will be more, but she was very chill. So I want to talk to you about with the noise and the visitors and the smells, talking about how much pets actually feel that energetic shift of the season, and how much our own stress is obviously translated to our pets.
That's another great point. Clients are always telling me, we're going out of town, we're having a party, whatever it might be, but the pet doesn't know we didn't take the suitcase out or do this or that. The fact of the matter is, Lindsay, pets are so connected to their owners that they know pretty much when you make those plans. If it's in your mind, it's also in theirs. So, the nervousness, the excitement, the worry, the frenzy, they feel that directly from their owner at the onset. So, when you mentioned that, you were chill and your dog was chill, absolutely. Your dog's behavior, actions, etc., in most cases, I think, are a direct reflection of the owner, in your case, of you. So, the better you're able to handle things mentally, makes it better for everyone involved, 4-footed and 2-footed. And then just, being smart, being mindful of what's going on. You're having a big party, a lot of kids, make sure your pet has ID tags. Remember, doors open and close. That's a great way for a pet to pop out and get lost. If you have a big spread, a lot of candy, whatever it might be, that's probably not ideal for your pet, especially if you got a chow hound. And if you're not sure, make a little safe space for your pet. A quiet little area, turn on some soft music, get them some favorite chew toys, turn on a pet video, so that they're safe, happy, and quiet. Maybe you've got a nervous pet, a young pet, an old pet, an animal that's convalescing. All those festivities are probably not going to be in their best interest, if you will.
The other thing that's interesting to me, too, is that there are people who don't remember always that the holidays are also a time for plants. A lot of people will drop off poinsettias. A lot of people will drop off other kinds of seasonal flora. And we really should make a point. What plants should we not have around pets? I mean, look, there's some things that if they get their mouth on, they're going to be fine. But we really have to be kind of careful about the plants we have around the house, especially when people are dropping off flowers or other kind of floral arrangements that kind of match the season, right?
That's another great point. When it comes to food, think about your dog. When it comes to plants, think about your kitty. Plants and cats probably are not the best match. And when it comes to plants, if you got a bunch of them, uh, put them high up where your cat, and remember, cats can jump pretty high, where your cat does not have access. As far as holiday plants, they tell you to worry about all kinds of plants, but it's the lilies. The lilies are deadly. All your kitty has to do is just munch on a few leaves, and irreversible kidney failure, unfortunately, in many times is the outcome. So, be mindful. Mistletoe and things like that, not good for anyone, especially the little red berries.
Poinsettias as well? Are those, is this,
Yeah,
is
a
that rumor
point.
true?
No, no. I mean, they can. Your dog or cat can chew on a poinsettia. Maybe they'll get a little tummy ache, but we're not talking. We're not talking big time
Catastrophic.
rush to the emergency clinic. The lilies are a big one. The little red berries, which I don't think you have that often. Um, those are also deadly. In my experience, those are the two plant issues that are really kind of a life and death situation. Um, and while we're at it, I'll just mention grapes and raisins, just a couple grapes or a couple raisins. Your pup might munch on. Again, you're talking about a severe kidney situation that in most cases is not reversible. When it comes to food, it's the dogs that you really have to worry about. Cats are pretty smart when it comes to food. When it comes to plants, it's a great play item for your kitty.
So with the cats, it's less about a matter of them eating them and more about them ingesting them while they're having a good time messing around with a plant.
Yeah, cats like to pat at things and this and that. So they munch on it a little bit, or pat it with their paw and then lick the paw. That kind of thing. Cats are curious. Plants, things like angel hair, and tinsel, and anything that sort of wiggles and raggles. That's going to get your kitty's attention, if you will.
Wiggles and raggles. I like that. Let's talk feeding pets, because everyone likes to sneak a little something to their pet during the holidays. But if
Sure.
we're going to share, and I've seen people share things, and I know they shouldn't.
No rum
I see
balls.
people put their plates down. I'm like, oh God, no, that is not something a dog should have. So if we are going to share human food responsibly and want our pets to feel, I guess, part of the family table, are there
Yeah.
actually good options that support their system instead of hurting it?
Most definitely. If your pet is healthy, um, you know, what's good for your pet? A lean piece of turkey, some broccoli, some green beans, a little bit of sweet potato. Absolutely, it's as healthy for your pet as it is for you and I. Um, Even a little bit of pumpkin pie, assuming that it's not loaded with sugar. Again, there's great antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, etc. So yes, it's wonderful. And Lindsay, why do they pay graphic artists to paint all those pretty pictures on the bags and boxes of pet food that owners go out and buy? Because they want you to think that that's exactly what's in there. Unfortunately, it isn't in there the way you and I might think it is. So yes, um, lean meats, fresh veggies, potatoes. Those are wonderful and healthy. If you have a convalescing pet, a pet with heart, liver, kidney issues, etc., not a good idea. But if you have a healthy animal, it's absolutely fine.
That gives me a little bit of a sigh of relief too, because I have a couple of relatives who like to pass food out to things, and I'm like going, "Is that really the best idea?" Has anybody tried to do with your with Mimi, Lindsay, where you've been like, "Please don't do that"? Have you had that moment?
No, not quite yet, but I'll cut someone. It's okay. We're on guard. Mimi's family. Stay back.
I think you got through the real crux of it though, because you know that dog was a Christmas present, which brings up my second question too, in regards to onboarding a new pet. Lindsay's was a rescue, not a rescue dog, but was from a shelter, right? I mean, it was a dog that had been used as a breeder. In regards to pets that have been traumatized, not by you as an owner, but by previous owners, we had one of our callers, he's the final owner, but there were 4 or 5 other owners before he got to it. And the holidays come around, and let's say you had some sense and got the pet, in April or something. Lindsay talked earlier about the noise and all that kind of stuff. If you have a dog that is kind of still recovering, hasn't completely acclimated to the love in your house, how do you make sure that they don't get upset as opposed to overstimulated? Is it better just to put the dog away during those moments when people come over and just kind of slowly introduce them to the crowd?
I think in most cases it is. That little pet safe haven that we talked about earlier is a great idea. There are things like box rescue remedy, a combination of 5 flowers available over the counter just about anywhere. You can put a few drops in your pet's mouth, add it to the water or food, or even rub a few drops on the inner ear, which is a little acupressure point. It just calms the pet down. There are some essential oil combinations. You want to make sure they're made for your pet, of course. I use in my veterinary clinic here a combination of chamomile. You put a few drops on the back. You can do it a couple times a day. It smells good. It's completely harmless. And again, it just kind of takes the edge off. On some pets, I can tell you within just a couple of minutes, they just take a sigh of relief and relax. So that's something that, talk to your veterinarian about. And if you have it on hand, I think in many cases, it absolutely comes in handy.
Dr. Carroll, we had somebody over in the chat right now. Trucker Bosun said that he keeps, in order to keep his dogs away from the tree, he puts the animated ornaments on the bottom of the tree because they kind of scare the dog. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it keeps the dog away from the tree. But with that, and also, on that note, do pets understand the concept of a Christmas tree, or do they think we just brought the outside inside for them to destroy? Do they have any idea what's actually going on there?
Well, I think when you bring anything new into your home, it's a very big deal because it just changes everything when it comes to your pet. As far as a Christmas tree, that is a great, tremendous holiday attraction, and for pets, it's a holiday hazard. So if you have maybe these animated characters, expendable non-breakable ornaments, certainly that you would want to place at the bottom of the tree. If you have a house full of children and pets, a great holiday project is make safe non-breakable ornaments as a family holiday project, and then you can hang those on the tree. Certainly, especially with cats and puppies, again, if you're not in the room with the tree, you want to close the door so that your animals cannot get into the room when you're not there. If you're very concerned, you can get netting, netting and a fishing line, and you can actually net the entire tree and take the fishing line and anchor the tree to the wall so that that keeps the tree very safe. For pets, especially curious puppies, they like to drink the Christmas tree water, and of course, those needles are not great. So you want to make sure to avoid that. And for pets that like to chew on the needles, you can make a little solution, distilled water and red pepper, put it in a little shake bottle, 50-50. And you can spritz the needles on your tree. It won't hurt your tree, but it is a great safe deterrent for the pets that like to nibble on needles.
Again, they said distilled water and red pepper?
Yeah.
Huh,
just
okay.
just put some in there and shake it up and give it a spritz. It works very nicely. Lights and cords, tape your cords to the floor. You can hide them in like a paper towel holder, could just run them right through the middle, tape them to the floor. Uh, your lights should be UL approved and those kind of things. But yeah, the Christmas tree is absolutely a curious hazard and a lot of fun at the same time.
By the way, that should be a book title: "The Pets That Like to Nibble on Needles." I really think that would be
Creepiest book I've ever read.
I know, "The Pets That Like to Nibble on Needles," coming soon to a
Let's
theater
call
near
Stephen
you.
King. Call Stephen King.
We had a fun conversation, and actually, the opening of the show actually is what kind of got the caller to kind of call in about. I was just kind of curious. This does involve snow, and it does involve people who love dogs very much. But I was kind of curious if you were able to kind of talk at all about Iditarod races in regards to, do you feel like for the people who actually need to do it as opposed to experience seekers, is there anything wrong with those dogs pulling those sleds? And I don't know. I have no opinion on it because I don't know if the dogs are under duress or any of that. But do you feel like they're capable of doing that? We had somebody call and ask about that, so I thought I'd throw it your way, Dr. Carroll.
That's another great point. I mean, those huskies and malamutes that are living up in Alaska, with somebody very athletic into the racing and the sled pulling, you have to remember that many of those dogs are actually bred for that exact purpose. So I think dogs up in Alaska, having a good time with the sleds. I think it's tremendous. On the other hand, specific to the caller, is the race strenuous, maybe even beyond belief? Absolutely. And can there be detrimental consequences? Absolutely, as there can with any extreme sport, if you will. So, a lot of those things, it comes down to your personal feelings, et cetera. It's a lifelong, not a lifelong, but a tradition that's gone on for a long, long time. And yes, there are unfortunate, very sad things that do happen in some cases. I think you have to take some of those things with a grain of salt. Nothing is perfect. It's a sport that many people and the dogs love. Is it a bit extreme? Absolutely.
I would love if you could to talk to our audience and remind people, because sometimes we lose it. Our pets go to the bathroom and we get so mad and we think, and I know I've thought this with Mimi. Just when I thought our dog has gotten much better about her, we've trained her from where she came from. She's not pottying in the house anymore. She's gotten much better, and then she'll fall off the wagon sometimes, as we all do, and we get real mad, and then we have to take a moment and be like, okay, why? I try to be conscious and think, why did she do this again? So what's something that pet parents misinterpret as bad behavior during the holidays that's actually anxiety or overstimulation, and how can we sort of, instead of just getting mad and yelling or spanking them or throwing them outside, what you see some people do, and so how can we retrain it and remember this is a family member and they're doing that for a reason? They're not just trying to piss you off around Christmas, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, remember about the stress and the anxiety and all those things. Second of all, one of the simplest things pet owners can do over the holidays is address your pet first. Wake up in the morning, see that they have their breakfast, and instead of just taking them out maybe for a quick walk, take them out for some exercise, a jaunt, so that after the jaunt, that they're tired. And a tired pet is, in most cases, a happy, calm, well-behaved pet. With respect to the winter conditions and the snow and the ice and the frost, for many of us, a lot of pets, they don't want to go outside, just like maybe you and I don't. Think about their paws. If it's too cold for you to walk outside barefoot, guess what? It's pretty cold for them too. So if you're in a condition like that, maybe you can shovel off a little pathway just outside the front door. If it's really bad where you live, maybe you can even put a little cover over it, but make it encouraging, a collar and a leash, and walk out there with your pet, and encourage, the animal to properly eliminate. Jackets and booties can be helpful in many cases as well. Um, and also, if your pet does make a mistake inside, the worst thing you can do is get upset, raise your voice, that kind of thing, because unfortunately, it simply reinforces a negative behavior. After about 15 seconds, pets have no idea why you're all upset. You know what I'm saying? So, they look at it as, well, I'm getting a lot more attention now, and maybe your focus has been on guests and children and festivities, which is normal. So remember to give your pet a little extra love, a couple extra kisses, a healthy treat, whatever it might be, so that they don't feel left out from the holidays and all the festivities. Remember to take them outside, on a leash, and try to keep their routine in every aspect as normal as you possibly can.
If you recognize this voice from Fox and Friends, The Today Show, Discovery's Animal Planet, or Good Day LA, by the way, you got it right. It's Dr. Carol Osborne, is a practicing integrative veterinarian and nationally recognized leader, speaker, educator, and advocate in the field of functional medicine. She is a regular contributor over here and has given us a great deal of information and a lot to think about as the holiday season approaches. Did you get any pet presents this year? Any pet presents?
Did I get any pet presents?
Yeah, any pet presents for any special animals in your life? Any little pet presents, or should people get them? Do they work?
I think it's always wonderful to consider getting a gift, for your friend, for their pet. If you don't know what to get, if someone's considering getting a pet, a leash, a collar, a little bowl. If a child is involved, maybe a book. Remember that the holidays are never a good time to give a pet as a gift, but giving things like the leash, the collar, the food bowl, the book, etc. Those are wonderful things to let a friend, a child, whatever it might be, know that a pet might be coming up in the future. And if you are going to get a pet, skip the holidays, wait until everything is over and it's just a very quiet, routine day when everybody in the home can focus on the new bundle of joy coming to be a new family member.
Good tip. We got ours at Christmas last year, but Dr. Carol, we knew we weren't doing anything for Christmas. It was just me, my husband, my daughter, quiet in the house. So she came home. She was the Christmas miracle, and we got to spend the whole week just doting on her and welcoming her.
There you go. And
So,
that's the way to do it.
It's a good reminder, though. Don't get your 6-year-old a puppy when you're hosting 50 people for Christmas and say good luck and move about your life. Not the way to do it. Dr. Carol, everybody head over to chagrinfallspetclinic.com to find out more. Dr. Carol Osborne joins us, as she does so often, with the best tips, the most practical tips. And we adore you, and happy holidays to you. Now go take that appointment, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Happy holidays to all of our pet lovers out there.